myself again.
Good morning and welcome to NUFC Matters. A new show hits the platform today. A view from the Middle East. We've got Al Walid, Stu Penman and Mitch. Welcome, lads, and happy new show.
Yeah.
Happy new show indeed.
Happy new show.
All good stuff. We've got the contacts out in the Middle East. We thought, why not use them? And special shout out to Mick Lowe's. I know he will be watching. He does enjoy watching the shows. Get well soon, Mick. Look forward to getting you back on the platform very, very soon. You might have watched last night's Three Amigos. Some of you might be catching up on it. But I do have to point out that we have the membership package. Now, what comes with a membership package is a monthly draw. And the first monthly draw has taken place. And it was for a signed Supermac t-shirt. So the winner is... Son, you are the winner of a Supermac t-shirt. Donald Baines, well done. And you will get that from John at QTech. He will get in touch with you. And it's as simple as that. Join the one-off membership fee. Join the club. And it's quite a few people joined last night. You get a cup, you get your pen, you get your scarf in the NUFC Matters bag. We will be selling these at the Christmas party as well. But it is a one-off payment. The draw is worth entering alone because next month's prize is 2 tickets to see Newcastle United play Manchester United at St James's Park. And anybody will tell you, you can't get 2 tickets now for 25 quid. So well worth entering just for that. Get yourself in, get yourself joined up. And thank you to John for QTech for joining in with that. Al Walid, we've got to talk about your visit, I think, to start with. What a trip that was. And culminated in you getting stuck in Brighton and having to find your own way back. The T-shirt, I'm not sure whether you saw last night's show, but the T-shirt that John did from QTech to celebrate the fact that you got lost in Brighton, that one there, it made £150 for the food bank, Al Walid.
Actually, it's it's like I have 2 hours at least to talk about what happened to me in Newcastle. So to short it up in 1 minute, it just was a brilliant trip of my life, and I really enjoy. And I'm coming soon to Newcastle, so you will see me there quite often.
Very good. Looking forward to seeing you come back. Did your family? Were your family happy to see you?
Of course, happy to see me. And they said, when we're going to go to Newcastle? I said, next time you will go with me.
Very good. That's great stuff. Looking forward to welcoming you over. But thank you to George and to Keith Patterson from NCSL for bidding on the T-shirt. And they've both just made the donation, which is typical of both of those guys. £150 to the food bank. Thank you very much. I'll ask you just about the appointment of Eddie Howe. It was the worst kept secret in football, but he was made the manager this week, head coach this week. Were you happy? And what did you make of his press conference?
Eddie Howe, talk about long time ago, even in Mike Ashley era. For me, I was happy. I was happy because I know that he took. After I read more about his history, he have good history with improving the players and the teams. But I become more happy when I see Amanda Stivell interview with NUFC TV. The search and the exams and everything. It was not just picking anyone available. No, there was test and progress reviews. They've been talking about he take Bournemouth from 92 to the Premier League, 92 in position in England teams, among England teams, and become all the way through to Premier League. So there was standard and there was test to choose the coach. This is after I know all the details from the Amanda interview. I become more than happy to have Eddie Howe as a coach for Newcastle.
Okay, got to say this before we ask you your opinion, Eddie Howe, Stu, and it's how happy is this man at the minute?
Very happy indeed. I spoke with him last night. He's a bit worried about who we can be drawn against in the playoffs. But as those who are aware, Bahrain's pretty close to Qatar. It's a 20-minute flight. So I'm hoping he can get to the World Cup when I can go watch Scotland play just across the water behind us there. So, yeah, it's great for Scotland. They've really improved since Steve Clark's helped appoint JC to be the coach. There's a great belief in the camp. They've got like a club side mentality now, you know, and the belief is there that they can qualify. So on Monday, I think is the last. We'll work out who the other potential teams are, and then I think the draw's in December for the game to be played in March. So if the draw against Denmark, they get a home draw because it's a one-off. It's not home and away. If they don't beat Denmark, which is quite possible, then there'll be away. So it could be a nice little trip to somewhere in Europe. Come March.
Fantastic. Congratulations. I did text him. I text back just to say thanks for the support, and it's great. Yeah, good luck to him. He's one of our own. Be great to see him get Scotland into the World Cup, and even better for Stu because he'll get a decent trip out there.
Yeah, certainly.
So Stu, obviously from your point of view, Eddie Howe, we discussed it when we last had you on, but it's for me great appointment. I'm really happy and cemented by the fact that he was so bloody good in front of the camera. Yeah,
I think he is the perfect fit, and everything he's done since has vindicated the appointment. And if you look at how the fans have taken to him, but inside the club, everyone is so impressed with the effort he's making, the changes he's going to make. You know, there was jokes and some really good things on social media showing like players absolutely shattered. But he's been trained them, and some of them have actually been vomiting because they're not used to such rigorous workouts, you know. But it's good. And then you have players like Ryan Fraser, and I think he should have been with Scotland, and he said he wasn't able to play. What's that noise? Is that you, Mitch?
Aye. Was it? There's consternation over a motorbike downstairs.
Bloody hell! Honestly, you never know what you're going to get with this this Eastern show. Go on, then, Stu. Continue, mate.
Right. So then you have like Ryan Fraser, who was picked with Scotland, then withdrew, but he's been training, and I think it's well documented that how he left Bournemouth. You know, so he's got a lot of making up to do, I suppose, and he has to rebond, and it's critical that he does. But the good thing is, Eddie Howe knows how to get the best out of him. The best football Fraser's played has been under Eddie Howe. And if he does involve him and he does put the work rate in and he gets involved, the guy's on a really high contract because he come on a free transfer, didn't he? So if he's not going to be part of Newcastle's future, he's going to get peddled off somewhere else, and no one's going to pay him the monthly salary or the weekly salary that we're paying him. So and there's a few people like that. It's not just Ryan Fraser. But from his point of view, whatever his motivating factor is, and to me, it'll be financial, he's got a lot to prove. And if he does prove it, then the team benefits and we as supporters benefit. You know, so it's the next 9 games we've got leading up until the January window. You know, there'll be a lot of people playing for them, or some will just give up already. But the huge advantage that Eddie Howe's got is the backing of the consortium, and he knows he can replace whoever he wants. You know, so there's no one indispensable now. They're all on trial, whether it be for the shop window or whether it be for the future. And I think with Eddie Howe, although he comes across as very, very nice, he is a bit of a taskmaster, but he knows his stuff and he's up to date with all the new sports science and everything else that goes with it. So yeah, he's a nice guy, but it's one of those, like, don't cross him. You know, he'll help you as much as he can, and you've got to help him. It's a two-way street.
Yeah, Mitch, it's definitely a case of don't mistake his politeness for a weakness, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that comes across in the way he's conducted himself from his arrival. You can't fault the thing he's done in the way he's held himself, and the way he's held himself in front of the cameras, and also in what we hear that's going on behind the scenes, that he's already putting in a little bit of authority there that squad needs. And so, yeah, you cannot fault the thing he's done since he's walked through the door, really.
No, definitely not. You can't. And I'm looking forward to seeing how he sets up with his first game. We did have a guest planned for last night, which fell to the wayside. And we're going to talk a little bit about this next, lads. It's something which we never prepped this show, to be fair. So it just drops on us. I'm going to show a little video and then we'll have a quick chat and hopefully we'll have the lad on. But here we go.
Life for me was a struggle. It was a dark, dark place. It was a place where I got up every day and lived a lie. My family was struggling because I wasn't there emotionally, I wasn't there physically. It was just a horrible place to be. We'd just moved up here and I'd lost a job and I thought, that's it, I'm done. I'm going to take my life. There's no point in me being here, I'm just ruining it for everyone else. My little boy rang me, and he never rings me. He's only 7 and he got his mum's phone and rang me and he stopped me. He physically stopped me doing it by ringing me and just saying, Dad, where are you?
So Newcastle United Foundation launched the Be a Game Changer campaign in 2019 to increase mental health awareness, tackle the stigmas around mental illness, but to also promote positive mental health.
I've always used Newcastle United as my mental health escape, and finding something in the Newcastle United Foundation that helped support my mental health while being around the club that I love was huge. By sharing my story really helped me and I didn't expect it to, and I always credit it to the foundation and the brilliant staff, because without it I wouldn't be here. The Be a Game Changer campaign really did, it saved my life, it stopped me committing suicide.
He didn't choose to have a mental health problem, but what he did choose to do was to find help, but also to influence positive change through sharing his story, but also helping those people who need it.
Finding someone who's open and honest and can share their story is huge, because it shows people there are people just like you struggling. If I'd had that person I could have looked to, it would have changed my concept on life and made me look and realise, look, there are people going through it, it's not just you. I recently did the Great North Run, which was an amazing, I've done it before, but doing it for the Be a Game Changer campaign felt something special.
The fundraising that Josh has done is vital. It opened doors for us as a foundation to go out there and explore new interventions, and again bring in further support that can help all different types of people.
It's the badge that brings people in, but it's the Newcastle United Foundation that makes them feel at home, and it's just a massive, massive thing. The Be a Game Changer campaign is a lifesaver.
We hope to have Josh on, but we're going to talk to the lads about this. Al-Walid, that's a really strong video, and we've got to say congratulations really to Josh, because he was the award winner at the Newcastle United Foundation dinner the other night. And ultimately that's just recognising his superb work in this particular field. And mental health is something which men in particular tend not to talk about. I'm going to pause it there, Al-Walid, because we have got Josh in now. Josh, congratulations on your award, mate.
Thank you very much.
And that really is such a powerful, powerful video. I think anybody who isn't moved by watching that, and I mean, I knew your story anyway. We've been in touch, since you became part of the foundation. And what was it like, really, for you, to be recognised for what you've done?
It's still a bit surreal. I still don't really see what I did, but it's amazing to get recognised by the club that I love. Like, it's just fantastic. It's a fantastic feeling.
I think the big thing about mental health and awareness and in this particular circumstances, it's men who seem to be struggling with it, Josh, who struggle to get their feelings conveyed or talk to somebody, isn't it?
Yeah, massively, especially in the North East. The stats don't lie. The stats are 1 in 4 men in the North East struggle with their mental health. And it's this whole aspect of being too much of a man to open up and to find that strength to sort of say to your friends that I'm struggling. And the campaign is all about breaking down those barriers and getting people just to open up and talk. And if I can use my story just to help one person open up, that leads to another person opening up, that leads to another person opening up, then that's the job. That's what we're there to do.
So what could people do if they wanted to, if they felt they were in that kind of dark place that you found yourself in? How would they reach out to you, Josh?
They can find me on Twitter. Just follow me on Twitter and I can send you to the right avenues, or just find someone that you trust that you can open up to and speak to them. That's what I did. I spoke very openly with a couple of my friends at the foundation, and that led to me getting to the help that I needed. There's lots of avenues out there for people, so it's just finding the right one that suits you.
And how can people get involved with the foundation?
At the moment, the best way to do it, there's a Facebook group called Be a Game Changer, or there's just contact them directly. There's so many methods that they can use at the foundation that help people with their mental health. But the best way at the minute is the Facebook group is massive and it's growing in numbers. So that's the best way to get involved.
Yeah, great stuff. Quick one on the football side. I know you're busy this morning, but I appreciate you jumping on.
No
Eddie
worries.
Howe, how pleased are you to see Eddie Howe come in as manager and just the takeover? I mean, within about 5 or 6 weeks, we've got rid of Mike Ashley, we've got rid of Steve Bruce, and we've replaced it with owners that really, really do care. You met them the other night, but also a coach, an up-and-coming coach who is ready to prove a point.
The owners are fantastic. Like Amanda Stavely is one of the nicest people I've ever met. She's absolutely incredible. The way she came across to me at the award ceremony was just amazing. She had so much time for me. And she actually came over at the end and asked me for a picture, which was incredible. It just shows the measure of the woman. She's absolutely fantastic. But in terms of the takeover, it's everything for the city, isn't it? It's everything for the club. It's what we've all wanted and deserved. And it's just going to see the city skyrocket. I can't wait to see what comes. And
Josh,
Eddie Howe's amazing. A great appointment.
Yeah. He is. He's somebody who essentially can take us to that next level, isn't he? Yeah,
absolutely. He's a clever manager. Everyone keeps going on about the relegation on his record, but it happens. Some of the best managers have been relegated. Klopp's been relegated. So does that make him a relegation expert, or does it make him one of the best managers in the world football because he's also won the Premier League? He has to be given the opportunity to do what he wants at this club, and I think he'll get it under these owners, and I think we'll thrive.
It's great stuff. It's just wonderful to be positive, and I think things are a lot more positive, across the board with Newcastle United supporters. But there are people who struggle. Be a game changer with the Newcastle United Foundation is where to find them. Josh is at Joshy Banyard on Twitter. Looking forward to seeing you for a coffee this week, Josh. Best of luck and congratulations. Congratulations again on your award, mate. Well done.
Cheers, lads. See you soon. Bye.
Great to have Josh on. And yeah, Al-Walid, it's great to see somebody coming on and it's it's another positive story that's hitting Newcastle United. We're not used to this. We've been surrounded by negativity for the last couple of years that we've known each other. But that's another positive story, isn't it?
Yes, and congratulations to Josh. He's been a brave lad, and this is one of the beauty of aspect of the football. Newcastle Foundation, helping this stuff. I saw the tweets on Twitter about the reward and about the mental issue, the mental problem. This is something everyone, I think everyone in the planet have it, but everyone have different way to deal with it. Some people can't deal with it. And this is the problem. And for me, if I have some issue, I deal with it. I know how to deal with it. But sometimes when we saw they can't do it. And these the people who need the help the most. I remember, Steve, when we were beginning, my friends from Loaded Mag, also we suffer from this during COVID. And you help us with the shows and the opportunity you gave us for platforms. This is one of the way help us in this issue. And also I would like to say about we did this before. I remember if you remember, Steve, when we said call a friend.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, the phone a friend yes. Campaign that we did. Yeah.
Yes, I remember that was for mental problem as well. So this is one of the beauty of the football, not just about football.
Yeah, Stu, it's a tough thing, isn't it, for men to talk about mental health? And Tyson Fury, the heavyweight champion of the world, is somebody who we know has had his own struggles. But I think we've all been through it at some point. But we're just lucky in the sense that some of us, have maybe more inclination to reach out to somebody.
Yeah, just to extend what Al-Walid said there, everybody's different and people have different coping mechanisms inside them. And, there used to be a stigma, it was taboo to talk about mental health, where now, because it's not a visible illness, it doesn't mean you're not ill. It's like if you've got a broken arm or a broken leg, people can see you've broke your arm or broke your leg. And some of the toughest people, like you mentioned Tyson Fury, but some of the toughest people I know have suffered with mental health problems. And that's where the old adage is, you're given 2 ears and one mouth. Listen to people, but also talk, and it's not, thankfully, from the work that Josh has done, and congratulations to Josh on the award and the fact that it has been recognised. But I believe that by reaching out, Josh is now one of the more public figures speaking on behalf of mental health. But there'll be people sitting watching this show now who are suffering in private and scared to open up, you know. And we've all got friends, we've all got family, and it's, to me, if it's a man's issue, you know, men find it difficult. I think you're more of a man by putting your hands up and saying, well, I need some help here. You know, I'm not handling this as well as I used to, or as well as I could, or as well as I should do. And just by talking it through with someone, you know, the problem recedes a bit, and you can gain that bit more control out of it. So it was very good to see Josh come on, and again, congratulations on winning his award.
Yeah, fantastic. Great achievement, and great to hear as well, I guess, Al-Walid, you know, his version and his views of our new owners, Amanda Staveley in particular. And of course, you were lucky enough to meet Amanda at the Brighton game. What was your impression of Amanda Staveley?
That's a great question. And I remember you asked me that question, Steve, and I was very tired from Brighton trip, so I couldn't answer very well. Now I get to the rest and I can answer. Actually, okay. First of all, that's okay. After the longest story of how I get there, I asked someone from responsible in Brighton, in the director box. I said, I want to meet Amanda. I want photo with Amanda and Merdad. And she couldn't understand. And what you are saying? I said, what's wrong with my English? And I think I'm talking clear. I don't know why they didn't understand. They thought, I don't know what they thought, I am the owner. I don't know, they misunderstand. Anyway, after explain, she said, you will sitting with them, then take the picture you want. And you are sitting with them. Why you ask me to talk to Amanda and you are sitting with her? So I didn't understand that I'm gonna sitting with her and Merdad. So and before I've been seated, I come very early. I've been seated, so I was waiting because it was empty seat. But before the game start, I saw Amanda came, not with Merdad apparently, because Merdad have something busy that day. So, and it was just she was just sitting in front of me. I just came and shake her hand. I said I thank her for being patient with this takeover saga, and she said, you are welcome. And I thank her for the invitation of the club. And I start, I'm not going to say all the details, but you ask about Amanda. I saw her. She was cheering the team. She's so excited, and she was so lovely. And I think Newcastle with safe hand with Amanda Staveley and her husband Merdad Bidouzi.
Quick question from Luke for you, Al-Walid. He says, did you watch Australia versus Saudi Arabia on Thursday night?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah.
What did you think of the game?
Actually, usually Saudi Arabia, good team now, but among the years, we suffer from playing with Australia because the we have weakness in the crosses. Because Australia, usually they are taller, they are playing tough, but with experience of, I think among the experience and the player now, they are from Al Hilal and from Al Nasr. We now get in the Champions League of Asia. We get practice playing with the Australian players, and we have also the defender who was playing with my team, defending Australia. So we get used to play now, and I think this is why we get nets. It was rainy, and we didn't usually to good play in rain, and it was in Australia, and it was an important game for Australia because they are away 3 points, I think more, from Saudi Arabia, from the head of the table. So I think, of course, we're looking for the win, but for me, I think buoyant in this circumstances, it's amazing. I remember 9 years ago, we have same situation. We play against Australia, and it was raining and everything, and we scored first, and we got 5 goals conceded after that. But now I think the Saudi Arabia is becoming more stronger, more experienced with the player we have, and hopefully England and Scotland to meet in Qatar and enjoy the World Cup.
Yeah, good stuff. Question, I guess, we take to you first, Stu. I'm learning all the time here about the director of football. I think you're the man with your finger on the pulse with this. Mitch and you obviously, speak quite a lot. But any news on this yet?
I believe it's all done and dusted. He's been into Newcastle. He's met with the chairman, met with Amanda, and I'm sure the effort that's been made to woo him, the fact that he's left his previous job, it all indicates that he will be on board. But I put on Twitter this morning I was going to break an exclusive because it was a new show. And it wasn't about the director of football, as everyone was guessing. So no drum rolls. But I have it on very, very, very good, what if you want to use the word sources, that next season Newcastle United will be featured in an All or Nothing TV series with Amazon. So we'll be able to get behind the scenes, and as they've done with Tottenham and Manchester City in the past, in Newcastle are the one that they want for next season. They're in advanced talks, and there's positivity on both sides, and that's very close to going ahead. Now, if you look how welcoming and forward-thinking our board are in comparison to who they succeeded, something like this would never happen. But again, it's a great way of getting the Newcastle United brand out there. Here in the Middle East, worldwide, not just here in the Middle East, but it's something that'll be watched stateside, something that'll be watched in the Far East, and it's really good advertising. And the fact that they've got a very good talker with Eddie Howe as a manager, I think it'll put Newcastle in a really big light. So that was my little exclusive. We will be All or Nothing.
It's good. It's good. My mind is wondering what it would have been like under Mike Ashley. Had they done a fly on the wall thing, it would have to carry a public health warning and be X-rated.
It would have been like The Office, wouldn't it?
I'm going to leave that. Yeah, it would have just been derelict. Nobody in. I'm going to leave it anyway. We'll not get ourselves into bother with that. Yeah, Mitch, I mean, obviously we discussed it last night. Director of football, Stu seems confident that this is still more or less done. So do you think, your opinion, do you think we could have an imminent announcement, pre-Brentford?
Absolutely. I mean, people don't realise and don't underestimate how much Stu's cross-verification helps me and Steve Hasty when we sit down as a group together and bounce things around. Sometimes Stu can actually verify things that we are not certain about, and don't underestimate the sources that Stu can tap into. And certainly it fits with everything that we're being told, is that it's ready to go. And so would it be pre-Brentford? Why not? We've got time. Isn't that something that we haven't had for ages? We've now got a luxury of time to actually get things down and running.
He gets on with Howe as well, doesn't he?
Absolutely, and this is the key. It was always the difficulty in appointing a manager about what kind of structure they wanted to have. Were they going to try and appoint a director of football and manager as a package together, but then that would have taken longer. So to be able to get somebody that works both ways, a manager coming in who's open to the idea of seeing a director of football not as competition, but rather as somebody who can assist him doing his job, and then have a director of football that likes to cut Eddie Howe's jib. And I think that looks like they've got that pair nailed on. And so
I'll give you an example, Mitch.
That's very exciting. No, it's fine, mate.
Last night I was explaining to the better half what the role of the director of football is, and how I was trying to explain it, but how imperative it is that they get on well. Now, we know Eddie Howe's coaching, so he'll identify the spaces. So I made the mistake of using Miggy as an example to it, because as you know, Miggy's our favourite player.
Yeah.
But I says Miggy runs around a lot and he does all this, but he's got a shot like he's got marshmallow feet. So what he'll say is, right, that's the type of player I need, but someone who can actually shoot and has an end product. And then he gives it to the director of football. He goes around and sources it and comes back with someone who does the same role but better. And that's the whole idea of it. He can concentrate on coaching and identify where the strengths are and where we can improve. and then the director of football goes out and draws up a shortlist, and between them they come up with the prioritise. Okay, he'd be first choice, he'd be second choice, and then hopefully then the director of football does the negotiations, and we get the right people in to move the club forward a lot quicker than what I think most people are hoping for.
Yeah, but very interesting. It's something we're all looking forward to anyway, and just another feel good factor I think about the club at the moment. It's something we need, and it's got to be the right person to work with Eddie Howe. So we will wait and see. Spider VPN, Gareth, I know you're in the chat. Good morning, mate. Thank you very much for your sponsorship. Google Spider VPN. They are the guys to trust for protecting everything on your computer at home. Google Spider VPN. They come up at the top of your search list. Thanks for your sponsorship. Skipsandbins.com too. Telephone 0800 25 45 25 3. Email inquiries at skipsandbins.com. Website www.skipsandbins.com. Easy contract, free and pay-as-you-go waste collection. And L&G Family Funeral Directors 0191 389 7245. Thanks to you guys. And to qtechshop.co.uk, the makers of pool tables and snooker tables in Wallsend in Newcastle. Also thanks to Jab Signature, who our website, which is jabsignature.co.uk. Get yourself onto there for their new brand. If you're a first-time visitor, please subscribe. Newcastle Legends logo in the bottom right-hand corner. Click on that and you can subscribe for free. Hit the thumb up to like the video. Click share to share to your other social media. And drop into the comments box to speak to like-minded Newcastle fans or to put a question forward. iTunes and Spotify are just two of the podcast providers that we are on. You can get us on there for free as well. And usually the shows go up within 24 hours. Last call, 6 days to go. Christmas party, £12 a ticket. All proceeds to the food bank. Supermac and Gibbo are doing a talk-in at the event. 155 tickets sold for that. Wow. There is going to be one hell of an NUFC Matters party. Looking forward to seeing everybody there. Going to be a cracking night. And Junior Turner will be going to sing his song as well. And an evening with Peter Beardsley the following Friday. If you've recovered from the Christmas party, get yourself along to that. Friday, November the 26th at the Irish Club as well. 7 o'clock kickoff for that. Tickets for both events, newcastlelegends.com. and click shop. And 9th of December, coming up towards Christmas, we have an evening with Supermac at Bobix, which was the Punch Bowl in Jesmond, and you can get your tickets for that, bobix.com. Again, it's another food bank event. Don't forget, virtual bucket, NUFC fans, foodbank.co.uk is operational 365 days of the year. Make a donation into there, and it goes straight to the food bank. And also, on the same website, nufcfansfoodbank.co.uk, you can enter the raffle for the Peter Beardsley signed custom-made trainers from I Am The Renovation. Tickets are £1, and again, the proceeds go to the food bank. So get yourself onto there. And we've also loaded the T-shirt online at Steve Wraith on Twitter for the food bank. So get yourself onto there. It's a Malcolm Dix tribute T-shirt. Get your bids in now. And John has also launched a new range of T-shirts to welcome the new manager. How are you, the lads? Eddie Howe, a nice white T-shirt in a variety of sizes available on the website, nufcmatters.com. And don't forget, 6 o'clock tonight, if you're into your true crime, great. If you're not, skip over. But this is a real, well, as the book says, heroine to hero kind of story. Paul Bogey from Scotland is a Newcastle fan. He was addicted to heroin and his life was going the wrong way. He turned his life around, and that picture of him in military wear isn't him on a movie set. He became a Royal Scots Guard. Find out how he did it. It's a very inspirational story, and I interviewed him this week. So that will go live tonight, 6 o'clock on this channel. So well worth a watch indeed. Let's go to some of the comments and see what people are asking or what people are saying. Keith Moore, he says, who do you think our new sponsor will be when the signs come down? Yeah, it was interesting, Al Walid. Amanda did mention that this week, that even she's getting sick of seeing the Sports Direct signs. Who do you think the sponsor will be? Do you think we'll get one from Saudi?
Well, يعني, there is rumors, but if I just thinking, I think maybe I will go with Saudi Airline, maybe Aramco, those two. But also we hear before about 3 weeks it's gonna be something different. So I'm still have nothing يعني nothing sure exactly. But personally, I would be happy to saw Saudi Airline.
Okay, what about you, Mitch? Hearing any rumours?
A lot of this depends on how the Premier League want to go with this associated sponsorship concept that suddenly that they care about all of a sudden. Because I mean, Saudi Airlines a good one because there's no direct connection to PIF there. PIF do not own anything to do with Saudi, and so that would make sense. In fact, I believe PIF are talking about setting up their own airline at some stage in the not too distant future. One I've definitely heard as a strong rumor is that the shirt sponsorship for next season will be around experiencing Al Ula, which is one of the UNESCO heritage sites that they want to encourage in terms of part of the tourism drive. Anything involved with Vision 2030, I think you could look at a number of different things from NEOM onwards. Yes, you could talk about the petrochemical companies, Aramco or SABIC, who've just pumped a lot of money into Teesside, or are just about to pump a lot of money into Teesside. So there's absolutely a hell of a lot of different options there. And I'll be curious to see how to play the associated sponsorship in there, because just because a company's from Saudi Arabia doesn't mean it actually always has a direct connection to PIF. And so therefore there's lots of opportunity for sponsorship there that will help push business in the region considerably.
Stu, are you hearing any rumours in Borean?
Well, I know it's not going to be Qatar Airways, so we can rule that one out for to be safe. But again, it's probably reiterating what Mitch has just said. It depends on how the Premier League want to play and how much up the Premier League's noses Newcastle want to get with like counter threats of court cases and stuff. My opinion is Aramco would be the obvious choice. However, our chairman, Yasser Al Rubian, is the chairman of Aramco as well. You know, is that a conflict of interest, or is it a case of, you know, Aramco are looking, you know, they're a very wealthy brand, and in Newcastle, the Premier League is a global, you know, it's a global thing. So why shouldn't they have their names on our shirts? You know, and so I would like to see Aramco, but I can also see something Vision 2030 related. But again, as Mitch said, there's many big companies in Saudi Arabia. You know, they could even look at something that PIF have involved themselves in. You know, some of the other companies, you could have Uber on the shirts. You know, would that offend anyone? You know, so there's many options. But I know we talked about it last week. Thankfully, we've got the right people making the right decisions and bringing the right people in to make the decisions. You know, if that makes sense. You know, if they need a commercial manager, they'll go and source the best commercial manager out there. If they need something else, they'll go and source that. Hang on, that's alcohol delivery. I'm going to go get the door.
Well, you don't get that on any other show, do you? Damn it, that's the alcohol. Al-Walid, at least you don't get this from you, mate. Let's talk a little bit about Al-Walid. Let's talk a little bit about.
Sorry about that, lads.
It's all right. Al-Walid, let's talk a little bit about Fraser and Eddie Howe, because a lot of people believe that, you know, there was an animosity between them. We know that Fraser went on strike at Bournemouth in the last couple of months of his contract there before he left, and you know, a lot of people have got mixed opinions. Some people think he hasn't been given a chance. Would you like to see Ryan Fraser in the team and played in his correct position?
Of course, and I remember before a good game for Fraser when he played as a wing, and I remember Mitch says, do you know? He asked us, do you know why Fraser play good in winger position? And he said, because he's a winger.
Yeah.
So I would. And now, after we hear that Eddie Howe is attacking forward, so I think this is going to help Fraser of course, not just Steve Bruce tactics, and even Graham Jones also. It wasn't that much of a change. So hopefully Eddie Howe will play attacking and play Fraser as a winger.
Yeah, it's not really rocket science, is it, Mitch? Learning how to, maybe you get the best out of your team by playing players in the correct position.
Well, we banged on about it on the Three Amigos for weeks about square pegs and round holes and all that, and Fraser's the classic example. He was one of the two false tens that magically appeared on the pitch at Sheffield United, whatever that was. And so I think you can count on the fingers of one hand the amount of times he's actually played in the position that he was bought to play in as a left winger. And so, he could also be lumped in with this group that we're talking about last night, whereby we'll play with wing backs, but we don't have a single wing back. We've got a pair of full backs and a pair of wingers who've been converted to defend more at times. And again, then it's not their natural position. And so we have to sort of work this one all out. And I think part of Eddie Howe's job is going to be, right, pick a formation and play the players in their best positions, and we'll get the best out of them. We haven't seen anything from Fraser, but I do wonder how much of that is because he's very rarely being played in the position that he likes to play in, and not being given much support when he does it either.
Yeah, I think Eddie Howe will get this right from the start, Stu. I think that Ryan Fraser will be part of it. Great to see the social media this morning that the players have actually been training on the pitch today. It's Saturday. They're training, which is what you're supposed to do when you're a paid professional footballer, and actually getting them into the stadium, which it has to be said, some of these players, and this applies to footballers throughout the years, can buckle under 52,000 people moaning and groaning and getting on your case. So actually getting the players to train on the pitch in the confines of a stadium where and using the pitch that you're going to be using next Saturday, it's brilliant. It's not innovative. It's not innovative, if I could say it. It's actually just common sense, isn't it? It's something that Bruce wouldn't really have ever thought about doing and never did.
Well, no, he wouldn't. But like with Eddie Howe, what he does is he's got 2 or 3 favoured formations, whether it be a 4-4-2 or a 4-2-3-1, etc. And he's strong-minded. And what he'll do is he'll stick to what he wants to play. He'll look at the opposition and say, "This is the formation I think we need to get the best possible result out of this game." And then he'll pick the players to fit the formation, not the other way around. He won't think, well, these are 11 players, so you all need to play, and and that's where you get your square pegs and round holes. So if it's a 4-2-3-1, I think we all know who the one will be. The threes, you've got ASM, Miggy, it could be Willock, it could be Fraser, so but then it creates competition. If everyone says this is the role, then it creates direct competition, where at the moment you've got people knowing they're going to get a game, whether they play well, whether they don't play well, or because they're favoured by the boss. The boss now, the only thing he favours is getting results. And that's it. There's no time for clicks. There's just time for hard work. And to train, imagine that, training on a pitch that you play on. It's incredible, isn't it? But I don't think Eddie Howe's there training today, but he's not there personally, I don't think. But the fact that they're doing it, it makes sense. But because especially tactically, if sometimes... the footballers get a very easy life, don't they? And sometimes you've actually got to show them exactly, I want you to stand here. I want you to run there. And it's different from doing it at Benton to do it at St. James's. There could even be like little signals, like where a certain advertising hoarding is. Right, so when he's got the ball, I need you to be here. When you're trying to get the back line all lined up and stuff, there's so many advantages of it. They don't even really need to play on the pitch. They just need to train on it and get, as you said, familiarize themselves with the ideas that the coach and staff are putting to them. And all these little things, these little tweaks, they make a big, big difference. Like pennies make pounds and little acorns make big trees and stuff. So it's really refreshing that these things are happening. And it's But we want too much as fans, don't we? You know, we get excited because they've trained on the pitch. You know, and that's the beauty of being a Newcastle fan. And everything at the moment is positive, and I'm not even going to say long may continue, because I expect it to continue.
Yeah, interesting story that's just broken in the Chronicle today, and it's the headline is Premier League loophole on owner-related financial deals set to be tightened after Newcastle takeover. Basically just saying that this group is set to report back by the end of November, at which point Amanda Staveley is hopeful that Newcastle can start to sign new deals. So I think a lot of the stuff that we see, the headline can be slightly misleading, but I generally think that, you know, our takeover will change things for the future, Al Walid, i.e. nobody will be able to come in and do what, you know, we have done with our takeover, but I don't think it's going to affect us. So I think all of this negativity that seems to be coming from the media about, oh, Newcastle's, you know, nobody's going to deal with Newcastle, or Newcastle can't do this sponsorship, or the clubs won't deal with Newcastle. I think it's all scaremongering, as we call it in the UK. I think it's all media, you know, hype. And I think we will be fine. And I think we will just see Newcastle progress as we expected them to. And I think we'll have a good January as well. I think we will spend accordingly and wisely.
Imagine these 18 clubs. I think 18 clubs, media and journalists, etc., etc. They just want to drag us out of the field. They really want to see us relegated, as at least they want something. Because after all, by laws we win the takeover, and by laws we're gonna get our rights and sponsorships, deals and stuff. So they just want, I think, they just want to drag us out of the field. They want us to see us relegated, and I think they will not succeed in that at all.
You know, Mitch, it's very interesting, isn't it, just to see, you know, essentially that, you know, these, you know, clubs are still making the mouths go, for want of a better expression, and trying to, you know, just trying to cause us as many issues as they can.
And a lot of them are involved in, you know, sort of previous deals with associated companies. And so it's hypocritical of them to do this. And while we had a deal with Sports Direct that underfunded the club, nobody gave a monkeys about that. But that's hypocritical not to mention about that. Why weren't you stepping in to say to Sports Direct, hey, you're underpaying for that sponsorship? But no, you're happy to let that go on, but you don't want someone to take better sponsorship, which gives them more power under FFP to keep spending. Why? Well, nothing says anti-competitive behaviour like a little bit of anti-competitive behaviour. And once again, they're reverting to type, and they're reverting to the way they went on during the whole takeover process. And they know fine well they can't get away with it, but they'll do it, and they'll drag it on as long as physically possible. With regards to the little question on the bottom before about associated deals with Castoria, I know we see a lot of people saying that Ashley's got connections to Castoria. He does not. Castoria have come out repeatedly and denied it. It was something started by Celtic fans to wind Rangers fans up, and then Rangers fans, some of their more hardline fans, bit on that and took it as gospel. And there's no association between Castoria and Mike Ashley. If Mike Ashley has a distribution deal with Castoria with regards to the club shop, do you know what? I'm quite happy to see him distribute sportswear, because that's actually one of the few things he's very good at. And that's got nothing to do with Newcastle United. That's got everything to do with Castoria, if they're running the club shop, and how they distribute from the club shop's entirely up to them and nothing to do with us anyway, so forget about it. But these things are always there to be little barbs to get the fan base wound up and they stick into it. And at the minute, the media will report on anything like that, because we're going to bite and we're going to jump, and it's going to take a long time to develop a little bit of sort of the thick skin you can get in this region where nothing phases people. And we need to learn a little bit of that just keep your head up, go about your business, and don't be fazed by silly little trivialities like that.
Yeah, lots of comments coming in. Derek, I will address this. I'll probably address it in a video myself, but I won't spend too long on it. But yeah, Adam Pearson, look, young lad, trying his best, been up at the ground. You know, he's left his university course to blog about Newcastle United. It's his choice. That's what he wants to do. You know, again, being a victim of trolls. and attacked on social media. It's not a nice place. And I don't like to see it. So, that's all I've said. But yeah, I think unfortunately for him, like I say many times, you put your head above the parapet, you're there to be shot at. I'm sure he'll be fine. I'm sure he'll deal with it. But I've actually enjoyed some of his content this week. It has been very, very funny to watch and very interesting at times. And fair play to the lad. Fair play to him. Sean says, squad being training at St James's Park. Nice to see. Dean, I did like this one. He says, I'd love to have seen the results of the beep test and see how far off they were. The rumours, Stu, I heard were that some of them were about 60% fit.
Yeah, I heard the same thing. They're from the levels that they should be at this stage of the season, and it's all done. I mean, I don't know how they do it. It's all done on percentages and stuff like that. But not all of them. There was a few. I didn't get any names, but I think we could hazard really good guesses on who is lacking in fitness. But I think every fan who watches the games, you can see it, and it's. You used the phrase "it's not rocket science" earlier, But when you watch Newcastle, when they did it against Brighton, they sat back and allowed Brighton to attack first half. The second half, they must have had a flea in the lug, and they went out and pressed them. And if you've got a football and someone's running at you, you're going to get rid of it quicker, which forces errors. It's quite simple to do, but you need to be fit enough to do it. And that's the thing. So I believe that's anyhow. It's not a punishment. It's getting them to where they should be. As you mentioned, these are professional footballers in a privileged position, getting paid thousands upon thousands of pounds a week. And they should have pride in their performance. They should have pride in their physical abilities and stuff like that. And I remember last night on the Amigos, you were talking about this. There was a mention about bringing only 3, I think it was 5 players that were mentioned to bring in to improve the squad, because that's what Keegan did. I think 3 or 4 in January would be enough, but it's 3 or 4 of the right people in the right places with the right attitude, people who would lead by example. And they don't need to be mega signings. I mean, I think the best example we can ever give is Brian Kilcline when Keegan brought him in. How he's not single-handedly, but he led by example and he dragged some of those kids up. He made men of them. And the one name that was bouncing around in my head this morning was James Milner. He used to play for us, and he is the consummate professional. And he's at an age where maybe he might fancy the move. He's not getting regular game at Liverpool. He wouldn't be playing regular for us next season, but he'd do a job in this team this season. But I don't know how partial Liverpool. But that's just my opinion. It's not like I've heard this or I've heard that. It's the type of player that we need to sign. Someone who's going to get their head down and graft and show us that hard work does pay off. And he is a proper professional. He's not going to be on the lash around the quayside and that every night, So that's it. And just to carry on from what Al Walid was saying about the press, it's been like that since year dot. It's just that Newcastle now, the focus is span on us because we're bigger and we've got a passionate fan base that'll bite. The one that keeps making me laugh is this constant reference to Steve Bruce getting £8 million payoff. Yeah. It's laughable. It's laughable. He was on 20 grand a week, which in my calculations is roughly £1 million a year. And even if he had a rolling 3-year contract, that makes it 3 million. Exactly. So you wouldn't pay him 8 million to leave. You just put him on garden leave, wouldn't you? And then run his contract out and save yourself 5 million. But there's no logic behind it. It's just, that'll bind the fans up and they'll get, why is he getting 8 million? And even with all these backroom staff who aren't on the same salary as him, it's probably not even half of the figure that's getting bandied about, but that's how contracts are. And he's in Dubai, he's been watching the cricket. But if someone paid me a couple of million quid, I could watch the cricket in Dubai as well. We need to move on from him. He's the past, and we've got such a bright future. And we only hold ourselves back by biting with certain journalists who it's quite clear they do it for clickbait. Let them get on with it.
Let them get on with it, exactly. And just replying to this, we did discuss this last night on the Three Amigos, and we think it's shocking. I didn't jump on it on social media like lots of people did. It's just putting it out there, isn't it, really? And, again, you want to make sure you get your facts right. You want to make sure that it's something that's being created, that it is actually in the paper. I didn't see it in the paper. I'm looking at a tweet. It could be manufactured, who knows? But it was disgraceful. And it should be rightly addressed. by the correct authorities, and the paper should be hauled over the coals for that. And like I say, we do our own lookalike on the show. We're very careful with it. We can all laugh at ourselves. We're very careful what we put out on there. So the Daily Mail, if that is correct, should be hauled over the coals for that. Just want to get a couple of points in back before I ask the last question to the lads with the last 5 minutes. First game I attended was in 1968, says Michael. I'm excited now as I was back then. It's like being born again. It's like Christmas every day, and very optimistic for the future. That's fantastic. I will ask football styles questions. Simple yes or no for this one, Al-Walid, please. Do you think it'll be Saudi Airlines by the end of November as the sponsor?
This is just me expectation, because what?
Simple yes or
why?
No.
Why I say?
Go on.
Okay, why personally I want, in my opinion, why I want Saudi Airlines? Because now this is the plan. How everything starts. For me, when I went to Newcastle, first thing it start is to book airline tickets. So I think same thing. If Newcastle, first thing will come to Saudi Arabia, buy a ticket. So I think now even for few years, Saudi Airlines is important. Now we are working in a direct flight from Riyadh to Newcastle, or like Jeddah or Dammam from Newcastle. So I think this is important thing. It's to have direct flight, because when I went to Newcastle, actually I suffered. It cost me more than 12 hours to reach Newcastle. So this is why I want Saudi Airlines to really start the sponsorship for the team.
Direct flights to Newcastle would be an interesting push, because not only does it open the global reach of Newcastle, I think that would then push Emirates to do something else, either a second flight a day, or extend the runway and bring a bigger plane in, one of the A380s, and so then our reach as an airport gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and the region as a global hub becomes more involved, and it's these little things that make all the difference to this takeover, about what from this region can be invested in Newcastle and the surrounding area.
Great points from everyone in the chat. Thanks for your contributions. He says, Simon Itis says, apparently Howe did the bleep test as well and beat a significant number of the players. Yeah, I can well imagine.
Don't be surprised.
Gavin, this was brilliant. He goes, I just rang the skip place and I said, could I have a skip outside my house? They said I can do cartwheels for all they care.
Dear me.
Classic. That's the kind of level this show I expect to be at moving forward. Okay, last question. I'm going to ask you today, lads, and we haven't used this video because it was something that we had on the Three Amigos, and we never really continued with it. So I'm going to add it to this show.
I'm scared already.
The big question. Oh, yes. Be scared. Okay, you'll be last, Al-Walid, on this one. So, Stu, the big question is, what do you most miss from home?
Oh. Yeah, that is a good question, that. Greg's sausage rolls.
Greg's sausage rolls?
No, to be honest, it's the fresh air. Like getting up in the morning and actually smelling fresh air. Like even in the autumn, the crispness of the air. I really do miss that. And when I am home, I do get up early and get it, because it's all dust and everything sand here.
Yeah. Craig just pointed out that was a yes or no question. I'll leave it very funny. Mitch, same question to you then. What do you miss the most?
There's a combination, the Strawberry in St James's Park. There's nothing like, I used to get into the Strawberry regularly on a Friday night, and then the next day you'd be at St James's for the match. There's nothing beats that feeling. There's nothing beats that the camaraderie you make along the way. I'm blessed with good people in my life and good mates like you guys, none more so than the man sitting to my left on the screen. And I'm blessed with all good things like that. But to have yous all together, to get yous all together at St James's Park and the Strawberry, that would be fantastic. and that's probably what I miss the most.
Okay, and Alwaleed, what do you most miss about Newcastle after your
The bus.
10-day visit? The bus.
Yes, the best. No. Actually, I can say and easily it's the people. The people there are very lovely, very friendly, and conversation about football anywhere. Sometimes, I remember I was busy and I ordered a taxi, and the taxi driver, he said, "Oh, you are Steve Wraith, pal." I said, "Yes, yes." So, and everybody talking about football, about Newcastle. This is something I really love. Really like. This is, I think when my number one miss really in Newcastle is the people. The people, they're very friendly and make me feel I'm home. I didn't, I know it's a new place, but I didn't feel struggle in any point. So that's I can say the fans. And I remember I was walking and there was worker in the street. They saw me in this uniform, Saudi uniform. They said, "We want Mbappe." Like, all of a sudden, I was walking. "We want Mbappe." It's like.
Oh, brilliant. Keith Moore says you miss Brighton. I bet you do. That's the hour up, lads. Great show. We will be back next Saturday, 11 o'clock. Join us for a bit of pre-match crack about Brentford. Stu, Mitch, Alwaleed, take care, lads. Have a good week.
Thanks, everyone.
You too.
Head back with your critics to